Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm glad you're here tonight. I want to talk about something deeply personal, something that many of us navigate in quiet solitude, the persistent challenge of living paycheck to paycheck. I've been there, locked in that frustrating loop, where every dollar earned seemed to vanish as quickly as it arrived. For a significant period of my life, it felt like an inescapable reality, a default setting that I simply had to accept. But then, a shift began to occur through a process of rigorous self-education, a lot of careful observation, and yes, a few missteps along the way. I started to uncover some immutable principles about money, not the sensationalized, quick, rich narratives that dominate our feeds, but the quiet, almost mathematical certainties that underpin true financial stability. These aren't secrets. They are, in essence, the boring truths that, when embraced with discipline and patience, lead to profound and lasting transformation. My intention here isn't to preach or dictate, but to share what I've learned, to offer these insights as a peer, hoping they might resonate with your own experiences and perhaps illuminate a path forward for you. Let's dive into 4 strategies that, in my experience, can profoundly alter your financial trajectory and help you break free from the paycheck to paycheck cycle first. And this might initially sound like an extreme measure, but I urge you to consider the profound benefits of a no-spend month. For one entire calendar month, you commit to purchasing only absolute necessities. This means your rent or mortgage, essential groceries to nourish yourself, utilities to keep your home functioning, and indispensable transportation costs for work. Beyond these non-negotiables, all discretionary spending is temporarily suspended. No dining out, no impulse online purchases, no new clothing items, no entertainment subscriptions you rarely use. Every single non-essential expense is put on hold. The immense value of a no-spend month extends far beyond the immediate savings, though those are often substantial. Its true power lies in the unparalleled clarity it provides regarding your spending habits. It forces you to meticulously track every dollar, revealing precisely where your money goes, and, more importantly, where it often leaks away on unconscious habitual purchases. I vividly recall my first no-spend month. It was challenging at times, but the revelation was transformative. I was genuinely astonished by the sheer volume of money I had been allocating to convenience and things I didn't truly need or even deeply desire. The financial outcome was clear. The money that would have otherwise dissipated into a myriad of forgotten transactions now remained in my account, a tangible symbol of my newfound control. This accumulated sum, every single dollar saved from frivolous spending, can then be immediately channeled into a high-yield savings account, serving as the crucial genesis of your emergency fund, a vital financial safety net. This exercise is more than just a budgeting tactic. It is a deep dive into financial self-awareness, teaching you to distinguish unequivocally between genuine needs and fleeting wants. A discernment that is absolutely indispensable for building robust, long-term financial health. It's a quiet act of defiance against the constant societal pressure to consume, a deliberate choice to prioritize future security over instant gratification, and the cumulative psychological and financial benefits, even after just 1 month, can be remarkably empowering. Secondly, let's explore the quiet yet formidable power of automation, specifically by establishing an automatic savings plan. This is one of those understated, almost invisible strategies that consistently yields monumental returns over time. The concept is elegantly simple. Upon the arrival of your paycheck, a predetermined amount, whether it is a modest $50 or a more substantial $500, is instantaneously and automatically transferred from your primary checking account into a designated savings or investment account. This transaction occurs seamlessly, without any active intervention from you before you even have the opportunity to consciously consider spending that particular sum. This systematic approach serves as an incredibly potent defense against the insidious phenomenon of lifestyle inflation, which we will discuss in greater detail shortly. By embracing this pay yourself first philosophy, you effectively prioritize your future financial well-being, ensuring that a consistent portion of your income is always allocated to building your wealth. You gradually adapt to living comfortably on the remaining funds, and the remarkable truth is, you often barely perceive the difference. I can personally attest to the profound psychological tranquility that accompanies witnessing your savings steadily accrue, month after month, without requiring constant manual management. It transforms saving from an often neglected willpower-dependent task into a consistent, non-negotiable component of your financial routine. You can also investigate micro-investing platforms, many of which are designed to link to your bank account and automatically invest small increments, perhaps by rounding up your debit card purchases to the nearest dollar or facilitating regular modest contributions. While I haven't personally engaged with every available platform, the fundamental principle of effortless automated saving and investing is undeniably powerful. These seemingly insignificant, consistent contributions, when amplified by the extraordinary force of compound interest, begin to construct substantial wealth over the expansive arc of your life. It's about meticulously configuring your financial environment to operate optimally on your behalf, rather than constantly contending with your own natural spending inclinations. A truly subtle yet immensely effective financial habit. Third, and this represents a significant challenge for many, we must diligently confront and decisively conquer lifestyle inflation. This refers to the subtle, yet pervasive and detrimental tendency for our expenditures to expand in direct proportion to any increase in our income. You secure a promotion, receive a substantial raise, or acquire a higher paying position, and almost immediately a cascade of justifications for increased spending begins. Perhaps upgrading to a more luxurious vehicle, relocating to a larger or more fashionable residence, escalating the frequency of dining out experiences, or indulging in more expensive hobbies and leisure activities. The insidious outcome is that despite earning a substantially greater income, your actual financial position often remains fundamentally unchanged. You find yourself still ensnared in the paycheck-to-paycheck cycle, merely at an elevated income bracket. This creates a relentless treadmill effect, effectively preventing countless individuals from ever genuinely accumulating significant wealth. The simple, yet profoundly difficult truth to internalize is that an increase in your income does not inherently necessitate a commensurate increase in your spending. In fact, the most efficacious pathway to accelerating your journey towards true financial independence is to consciously and deliberately maintain, or even strategically reduce, your existing living expenses even as your income expands. This intentional choice forges a continually widening chasm between your earnings and your expenditures, creating a substantial surplus. This generated surplus can then be aggressively and strategically deployed towards accelerated debt repayment, substantially increased savings, and robust, long-term investments. This pivotal juncture is precisely where the true exponential power of compounding begins to manifest its transformative effects. When you steadfastly resist the pervasive societal pressure to inflate your lifestyle, that additional income does not merely dissolve into transient consumption. It transmutes into an incredibly potent engine for the systematic accumulation of genuine wealth. It represents a quiet act of profound financial wisdom, a deliberate prioritization of long-term security and enduring freedom over the ephemeral gratification derived from immediate material acquisitions. My personal journey has consistently reaffirmed the critical, indispensable importance of this principle. It serves as a perpetual, gentle reminder to steadfastly prioritize my future self and my long-term goals over fleeting present desires, offering a powerful counter-narrative to a culture that incessantly advocates for more, more, more. It may indeed feel inherently counter-intuitive in our consumer-driven society, but it remains one of the most profound and impactful boring truths within the entire realm of personal finance. Finally, and this often presents itself as the most daunting and formidable obstacle, is the imperative to aggressively pay down your debt. I fully acknowledge that this statement sounds inherently straightforward, almost deceptively simplistic. And for anyone burdened by substantial debt, the reality is anything but easy. However, it remains an absolutely critical and often overlooked or indefinitely postponed step. Frequently, we fail to approach debt repayment with the requisite intensity, strategic focus, and unwavering commitment it unequivocally demands. Consumer debt, particularly high-interest credit card debt, functions as a debilitating financial anchor, perpetually dragging you down and impeding your progress. It relentlessly siphons away your painstakingly earned money through burdensome interest payments, thereby effectively sabotaging your every effort to build genuine wealth. Envision attempting to run a demanding marathon while encumbered by a heavy backpack filled with dense rocks. That analogy vividly illustrates the pervasive and detrimental impact high-interest debt exerts on your overall financial progression. There are two widely recognized and frequently employed methodologies for debt repayment: the debt snowball method and the debt avalanche method. The debt snowball strategy prioritizes the repayment of your smallest debt first, entirely irrespective of its associated interest rate. The psychological impetus and sense of accomplishment derived from rapidly eliminating a debt can be immensely motivating, fostering crucial momentum. Conversely, the debt avalanche method, which I personally advocate due to its mathematically superior efficiency, concentrates on systematically paying down the debt that carries the highest interest rate first, entirely irrespective of its principal balance. This particular approach guarantees the maximum overall savings over the long term by meticulously minimizing the total amount of interest ultimately paid. Whichever method you ultimately select, the absolute cornerstone of success lies in unwavering consistency and intense disciplined focus. Every single additional dollar you are able to allocate towards debt repayment represents a dollar that ceases to actively work against you and immediately commences actively working towards your ultimate financial liberation. It necessitates considerable discipline, it frequently mandates temporary sacrifices, and it often entails embracing a more frugal lifestyle for a defined period. But the eventual payoff is truly immeasurable. The profound sense of relief and unparalleled freedom that accompanies the elimination of all consumer debt is, in my view, truly incomparable. It transcends mere numerical calculations on a spreadsheet. It embodies the profound act of reclaiming your financial autonomy, of unshackling yourself from oppressive financial burdens, and of meticulously constructing a robust foundation upon which to build sustainable, lasting wealth. It functions as an essential defensive maneuver, one that is absolutely critical for meticulously paving the way for substantial future financial growth and the expansive realization of unparalleled opportunities. So, these are the four cornerstones, the quiet, almost understated principles that have profoundly impacted my own financial trajectory and allowed me to transition from feeling constantly overwhelmed to feeling genuinely in control. They aren't revolutionary in their complexity, but their consistent and patient application is utterly transformative. They powerfully underscore the fundamental truth that effective money management isn't about chasing fleeting excitement or miraculous windfalls, but rather about diligently embracing disciplined, often boring actions that, with unwavering consistency, compound into profoundly significant results. It's about cultivating enduring patience, deeply understanding the exponential power of a long-term perspective, and making deliberate, intentional choices today that will unequivocally empower and secure your future self. I fully comprehend that for some individuals, the financial struggle is incredibly acute, and despite tireless, Herculean efforts, simply achieving basic solvency remains a monumental and daily challenge. For those of you who are bravely fighting, who are pouring every ounce of your energy into this battle, please know that I deeply empathize with your struggle, and I genuinely extend my heartfelt wishes for your unwavering strength and persistent perseverance. Continue to seek knowledge, continue to search for those small, critical footholds, because every tiny step forward, every piece of acquired wisdom, is an invaluable victory in itself. For many of us, however, it ultimately boils down to making conscious, sometimes uncomfortable choices in the present moment. Choices that meticulously pave the way for a significantly more comfortable, secure, and ultimately free tomorrow. It represents a subtle yet profoundly impactful challenge, but one that, I wholeheartedly believe, offers an unparalleled return on investment, not just in financial terms, but in terms of peace of mind and personal agency. Thank you for joining me in this shared conversation tonight. Peace.